Did nobody tell the Naruto animators that the manga is over? Because we're finally out of the Obito flashback slash filler. A lot of it was filler. And then next week, boom! We're getting a God of flashback. It's like, there's no need to add stuff in the fear of you catching up with the manga, because the manga is already over. Did the news not get around? I mean, unless they're doing it, you know, as a way of keeping their jobs as long as possible, then I understand. Obito gets defeated by Naruto's hand of friendship, plus additional talk no jutsu, and he ends up falling. Now, I don't know how he survived that fall, because he was pretty high up, but he survived the boulder, so fuck it. He hits the ground, splat, and there's a lot of emphasis on his hand, for some reason. I'm guessing that's because it's the only part of him that Rin touched. A lot of emphasis on his hand, okay? While he's thinking of a girl that he used to like. This is not, by any means, a reference to masturbation. There's this pretty cool part where he tries to make Naruto his bitch and choke him, but he gets away, unfortunately. And there's like this montage of shots of the Shinobi Alliance going like, ooh, like, and I honestly forgot what the fuck was up in the present because of the flashback, because it took so damn long. So I just assumed that everybody was trying to take a dump. And then it came back to me like, whoa, they're still pulling the chakra out of Obito. They're still pulling this shit. And then they're finally successful at pulling the chakra away from Obito, and Guy has like the best reaction ever. It's a very manly yeah. It's like, yeah, you know, it's like, whoa, yeah, you finally pulled it out, man. That's what she said. Immediately after Obito hits the ground, who is the guy that goes in with his katana to try and off him from the show? Sasuke. Sasuke is about that business, okay? He's not fucking around. He knows this guy is a threat, or has been a threat, that needs to be put the fuck down. Meanwhile, Naruto, what's he doing? He's going on singing like, you got a friend in me. If you're lonely, I'll put on a wig and pretend that I'm Rin, cause you got a friend in me. And then Kakashi comes in, also ready to put in the work, but Minato stops him because Minato also had access to the Obito flashbacks. Minato's like, go on, nothing to see here, you gotta take care of Madara. And so Naruto's like, that's right, Pops, and he runs off. But if I were Sasuke, I would have thrown a couple of shurikens. At least a couple of shurikens at Obito before I left. I know some people may argue, oh, it's about forgiveness. Thing is, Naruto is aspiring to become a leader, alright? In order to be a good leader of a society, of a group of people, which is Naruto's goal, okay? You have to have a sense of justice. And a sense of justice isn't necessarily at odds with forgiveness. I mean, sometimes they don't match up, they don't intertwine, but they're not mutually exclusive. All I'm saying is that as a leader, you should try and offer your people a sense of justice. You know, the people that you're leading. Because if you don't, then it just becomes chaos. That's all I'm saying. Kakashi has some pretty interesting dialogue in this episode. Note that I'm skipping the Team Minato recap mission thing that we got for a couple of minutes in this episode. It's just, well, why was that there? Kakashi says to Obito, your path is one of many, and it may actually not be wrong. So when he said that, I was like, the fuck? But I know what he meant. He just meant that I know what it's like to feel like this world is a hell, okay? And then he goes on to say something. I mean, the way this episode ends with that dialogue, I thought, that's some good written dialogue. He says that Naruto may fail, but that he has faith in him because he's going to be supporting him. And the more people somebody has supporting them, the likelier they are to accomplish their goals. The problem here is, how do you get people to support you? Then he says something even cooler. He says, I'm sure you could have seen that too if you tried. After all, we have the same eyes. Now granted, the images that your eye receives mean nothing if they're not processed by the brain. So even though they have the same eye, they don't have the same brain. So things would be processed differently. But that's just Kakashi's figurative way of speaking and saying that you just should have tried to see good in people even when it felt like there was no hope left. Sometimes hope can even take physical form. And you see Naruto's Rasen Shuriken in the distance glowing. Even though the tree is humongous, you see it shine like a bright star. Kind of like a star on a Christmas tree. Happy holidays. In other words, what Kakashi's trying to tell us, the viewers, is that we shouldn't get sad over a God of flashback next week. Rather, we should be pumped because after that needless additional shit is done, we get some pretty good episodes. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review. I appreciate that. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel for more Naruto Shippuden reviews. And tell me what you thought about this episode in the comments section. Bye.